Versatile Mage. Chapter 346. Frightening Kingdom. A rare smile surfaced on Li Man's face. Be City's greatest threat was the giant lizard's horde. Since Li Man had been reallocated to Be City, she had been unable to come up with any viable plan to suppress the growth of the giant lizards. She was initially planning to investigate the Deathbringer of Dongting Lake, trying to understand what could possibly kill so many giant lizards. To her surprise, she had bumped into a caveman and a young but courageous soldier in Zizhao Valley. The two had used the simple strategy of provoking two demon beasts to fight one another to eliminate a commander-level demon beast. It was definitely good news to Li Man, as it would provide Be City some relief. On top of that, after learning that the giant poisonous centipede turned out to be the winner of the battle, Li Man quickly came up with an idea and specifically marked the creature with the light element sacred chant. She purposely let it live so it would suppress the giant lizards. Killing a commander of the giant lizards while producing a new natural enemy of the giant lizard horde was equivalent to suppressing two nests of the giant lizards. I've mentioned before, the corpse is mine, Mo Fan said sternly, pointing at the giant dead body of the Xuanwu giant lizard. I've got what I wanted, said Li Man. Brother Fan, I've also gotten what I need. As for the mountain, you should bring it back and build yourself a building. Zhang Xiaoho burst out laughing. A commander-level demon beast's corpse was full of useful components. It would take Mo Fan some time just to finish looting the dead body. I'll help. I can send a troop of battle mages here to move the corpse back to the army and dissect it. Who knows how long you will take to do it yourself, suggested Li Man. Her face had more color now, and she looked more feminine. She was in a good mood, both because the poison was cleansed and because she had resolved a huge threat for the military. Why don't I sell it to the military? Since we couldn't have done it without you, I'll give you a 10% discount. Mo Fan did agree that moving such an enormous corpse would definitely bring him a great headache. That works, too. The research team will surely be more than happy to take a commander-level demon beast. As a commander, Li Man had the authority to make the decision on her own. I wish us good cooperation. Mo Fan reached out his filthy hand. His hair was overgrown, a sign that the demon element was not fully deactivated yet. Likewise, Li Man wore a gentle smile. She squinted as she said with a hint of admiration, "You're something special." It's my first time seeing an intermediate magician killing a commander-level demon beast. Even among the advanced magicians, killing a commander-level demon beast is considered an impressive achievement. I didn't come here living for a few months like a caveman just to experience nature. Mo Fan smiled, revealing his sharp canine fangs. Then why don't you tell me, why were the two commander-level demon beasts severely injured before I came here? Li Man stared right into Mo Fan's eyes, as if she were trying to see through his lies. God knows. Mo Fan rolled his eyes, as if it were none of his business. Li Man did not ask further, seeing that he was trying to avoid the topic. Li Man believed that this caveman was closely related to the Deathbringer of Dongting Lake, but she did not know the details. After arriving back at Be City, Mo Fan felt the final soul breakdown was about to take place. It was similar to a tribulation for Mo Fan. He was being punished by heaven for using a power that did not belong to him. Everything would be fine if he were able to survive the tribulation, but he would be damned if he failed. Mo Fan was clueless about the number of giant lizards he had killed, and he had no idea how many soul essences he had consumed. Either way, he did not want to be controlled by the demon element again. If it weren't for the little loach pendant, he would have died several times over. Once he survived the final soul breakdown, the blood Sarira in his body would disappear completely. Mo Fan would have hesitated to get rid of the demon's lineage if it weren't for the extreme after effects. He did like the feeling of being able to beat the shit out of a commander-level demon beast. Unfortunately, great power would not just come for free. The price he had to pay was too much for him to bear. He recalled Jiang Yi's words. Even if he managed to survive, his cultivation would still decline. After Mo Fan used the commander-level soul remnant to overcome the tribulation, his soul was in a grave condition, while his cultivation declined significantly, too. Mo Fan felt like having a tearless cry. He had spent so much effort on improving his fire element to the 3rd tier. He had so much fun with the 9 Hall's Fiery Fist, but it had now dropped down to the 2nd tier, the Fiery Fist, Groundbreak. Not only did his fire element decline, his lightning element, shadow element, and summoning element had all dropped by a grade. If Mo Fan was slightly touched by the power of the demon element before, the declining of his cultivation had forced him to make up his mind instead. His cultivation was a result of hard work. That being said, it would be quite impossible for Mo Fan to demonize now even if he wanted to. The energy of the demon element had completely dissipated after the final soul breakdown. He would need a new blood Sarira in order to use the demon element again. The blood Sarira was in the military's hands. Mo Fan did consider bringing one with him at all times, as losing his life was scarier than losing a grade of his cultivation. It would be something he had to think about in the future. After recovering his human form, Mo Fan followed Zhang Xiaohou back to the southern military. The only person from the military he could trust was Zan Kong. He had managed to suppress the information about the demon element, thus not many people knew about his secret. I sometimes wonder if you're invincible, how are you still alive after that? Zan Kong smiled when he saw the lively Mo Fan in front of him. I'm pretty much dead anyway. My cultivation has declined, Mo Fan said with a wry smile. That's nothing, you can easily recover your cultivation. I've asked him to do a full check on your body. The demon lineage in your body is fully cleansed, and your soul is recovering well, too, said Zan Kong. That's a relief. Mo Fan nodded and uttered a relieved sigh. By the way, I've done a little experiment by using the blood Sarira's energy on your body. I've discovered that your body is now immune to it, said Zan Kong. Immune? Mo Fan was confused. Frankly speaking, the blood Sarira won't have any effect on you. You won't be able to demonize anymore. You would have awakened a new element, if it were truly an element. However, you only have 4 elements now, instead of having the demon element in your spiritual world. What they invented was more like a virus, an ecstasy, a biochemical drug. It has nothing to do with a new element, said Zan Kong. Mo Fan nodded. Lu Nian and his group were mad, trying to make something so twisted a new magic element. You should train here for some time. Try and recover your cultivation first. The news regarding your death is still being published, since the Black Vatican still has their eyes on you. If nothing is wrong with your body for some time, you can go back to school, said Zan Kong. Thanks, instructor. Mo Fan felt rather relaxed knowing that his life was no longer in danger. Brother Fan, you should stay here longer, Zhang Xiaohou said with a smile. You should get your ass to the ancient capital now. I sent you there to train yourself, and yet you've been wasting time messing around, scolded Zan Kong without mercy. The ancient capital Xi'an. I was told that it's pretty close to the land of the undead. Asked Mo Fan. Zhang Xiaohou nodded heavily as he said, the undead will occasionally crawl out from nowhere. It's nearly impossible to wipe them out, as they will reincarnate fairly quickly. By the way, with the earth element soul seed, flowing mud, I'm no longer afraid of being surrounded by the undead. I should visit the place sometime, exclaimed Mo Fan. The place where dynasties rose and fell, the burial ground of countless soldiers. As the sun rose from the east, the living woke up and proceeded to the daily routines. However, as the sun set on the horizon, the undead would impatiently lift open the sand, pall, and coffin lids as they worshipped the darkness. Tombs, graves, battlefields, corpse pits, buried soldiers. What kind of an exciting kingdom would it be? Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.